Well, if you want a definitive list of the very best games in the year of our Lord 2023, congratulations, you found them. This is the OSMcast.
Oh my god, did you guys see the PlayStation Awards?
No, and we're all what? No.
I need to talk to you guys. I know we're recording, and I know that nobody's going to edit this, but I need to talk about the PlayStation 5, not PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation Awards. They were hilarious.
Was Spider-Man 2 number one?
Yes, Spider-Man 2 was number one in every category, and then the real winner of the category.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was so funny. Okay, now we can continue, Basil. Go on.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Umi.
I'm John. Hey, are we finally recording that Gunbuster episode?
Yes.
And that's us.
One day.
One day. Hey, this episode is also entirely because of you, John.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw some grenades here in a bit, but yeah, my least favorite game played in 2023 was trying to record a Gunbuster episode. I could not beat that game.
Mine was trying to record a One Piece episode.
Yeah, and the episode's so broken that we can't release. We'll have to re-record one of those too. So don't worry. Even if you do record an episode, it doesn't mean much sometimes.
I almost died trying to record that episode.
One Piece episode needs major patches.
Yeah, the best ongoing game of 2024 will be the One Piece episode. So Don Trail's gonna be real pissed off. Anyways, so yes, this is our Awesome Awards for 2023 for video games. Now you may be asking your question: are we gonna do Awesome Awards for anime or anything else? No, we are not. Sorry, just the video games, and that's very specifically because John wanted to throw grenades, and I'm giving him audio to do so.
Thanks, Basil. Love you.
Love you too. So, how this is going to work is where each of us have our own top 5-ish games, and we're going to go through them, and as we talk about these games, we'll be talking about them. So we're going to start with mine because I'm the first on our list. And so my number 5 game of the year is a tie between the two games I liked pretty well, but never actually really finished playing, which are both Hi-Fi Rush and Dredge. Dredge was a really neat fishing game with Resident Evil 4 like inventory management, but also it's a Cthulhu thing.
You
Oh.
jerk.
And like
You
it
got on my case about having 6 things on my top 5, and here you are with 6 things on your top 5.
yes, I in fact even said that. Like
Yeah.
as I said that.
Did you? Oh, okay. Never mind.
I might actually want to play Dredge anyway.
No, I feel
would-
Dredge might be very Kevin Core, honestly.
Yeah.
The other game was Hi-Fi Rush, which was released by Bethesda Studios and through their Tango Gameworks. And here's my first grenade. Hi-Fi Rush is the best game that Bethesda's ever released.
That is not as much of a grenade as you think it is.
Yeah,
a lot of people
looking at
have
it, I'm like, is this my grenade? Because this looks familiar to me.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that.
Like, are you also including like all the previous Fallouts or Skyrim or like? Because I'm saying Bethesda, like, period.
Well,
Yes.
none of the good Fallouts were actually Bethesda. So, yeah.
I don't want to go too hard on this, but Bethesda games are not for me.
I mean, myself, neither. But Hi-Fi Rush was really, really, really fun. It was cool. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon brought to life. It's an action game, but also a rhythm action game. It's a rhythm action game where everything you do is on the beat, whether you like it or not, and you get more damage if you actually do it on the beat. It was a really, really neat game. So that was my number 5s. My number 4 game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3, because it's a game that I like in spite of itself. See, here's my actual grenade. It is that Baldur's Gate 3 has some really, really brilliant, great ideas. I don't know how I like it as a video game, though.
I mean, I could definitely see that. Like, I like the exploring and questing pieces of it. Like, I liked its implementation of 5e rules. It probably taught me something about that and like how to be a more effective cleric, for example. But yeah, I got real tired and frustrated when I got to end game. I was max level. I switched everything to lowest difficulty. I still struggled. I smoked the entire pack until I hated it. Can't wait for DLC though.
My line about Baldur's Gate 3 this year has been, it's not a perfect game. It's not a game for everyone. It is an incredible fucking experience, depending on you. Like, for me, it was an incredible experience, and it was a personal experience. But as we're going to talk about this game more, you're going to find out how different my experience was from everybody else's.
I'm going to save all my wanton praise for it for when it gets to my section, because like I have too much to say about it to put it here.
Yeah, so I'll say it was fun. I mean, it is fun. I'm still playing it, but it's also incredibly frustrating. I'm only now that I'm entering Act 3, have finally figured out exactly just how I want to control it with the mouse, finding all the right settings, making the edge pans at the right rate, but sometimes everything is still too claustrophobic because they tried to build it too realistically where actual people would live in places. And it's hard to I miss clicking all the time. Again, it's very frustrating to play. Now, the storyline is very good. I like how it branches the narrative and how it takes all sorts of things into consideration when you're playing it. It's just also very frustrating to actually play. I also played Pillars of Eternity this year, and my God, that's a wonderful Baldur's Gate 3. In that it's an excellent game that clearly came out of the lineage of Baldur's Gates 1 and 2, whereas actual Baldur's Gate 3 feels like it's a marriage of Baldur's Gate, but also along with like Dragon Age Origins. Like this, Larian feels like they've created the ultimate BioWare game, which is still impressive. But for me, again, it's still number 4. My number 3 game of the year is Final Fantasy 16. I
You
debated
almost had me
putting
there.
I debated putting Final Fantasy VI because technically the Pixel remasters did come out on Switch this year, and I did play the Pixel remaster of 6 this year, and the Pixel remaster of 6 is very good. But no, I really enjoyed my time playing Final Fantasy 16. Granted, part of it was because I actually got to play with it with Anna. We decided, since we were sharing the PS5, and at the time we didn't have a real decent way of, she was at home that month and I was home that month, so we couldn't like swap in and out as far as who was playing and the other person like leaving the room. So we decided instead to play it together. So we were both sitting beside each other and we were just passing control between the two of us, and we would do different chunks of gameplay. And that itself was a really fun experience. But I also really liked the storyline it told. It told a really good story. It has some excellent voice acting. The actual action gameplay was incredibly good. They decided, we really should make, they keep talking like we want to do an action-based Final Fantasy. So you know what? Let's hire the guy behind the Combat Devil May Cry 5 and let's make a freaking actual action-only, action RPG Final Fantasy. And by God, they did it, and it was good. My number 2 game of the year was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And hot damn, was that a goddamn video game.
It sure was.
Hot damn, was that a goddamn video game. It is... Go on.
Well, okay. So, in my head, I kind of compare Final Fantasy 16 and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom a lot because they seem like complete opposite ends of the spectrum where movie and game are intersect. Zelda is much more of an actual fucking video game. You're generally playing a video game the whole time.
I'm going to argue that later, but go ahead.
Whereas Final Fantasy 14, I did not play 14 directly, but I count myself as having played it because I watched Barry play it. And that was a fucking movie, guys. Like,
I really feel now Final Fantasy 16, and we're talking about Final Fantasy 16. 14 now has its own podcast. Just so,
sorry. Did I say 14?
You did say 14, which, I mean, sure, it has the same producer, but
they're also
by Division 3. Like it's a lot of the same folks.
There's enough Final Fantasies that it's excusable that you mix them up. Like, especially when 14 has been a part of my life for so long. But I was talking about 16, and 16 is pretty much like an interactive movie. Like, it's a really good interactive movie. And I definitely think people should watch it. It's why Final Fantasy 16 is on my list, too, even though I only sat back and watched it. It's why it's also on my... man, I really need to play that game, because I keep wondering, like, would I feel, like, more passionate about it if I had actually been controlling it? But, man, it was so cinematic and beautiful, and, like, it was good.
I would argue that you might actually, because I think the actual playing of 16 is incredibly fun.
Yeah,
it is a really good action game.
That's sadly the part I have no commentary to make about, is what the actual gameplay is like, because as I said, I just watched it.
But this is technically me heaping praise upon Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, where this is definitely a sequel. It is not a downloadable expansion. This was straight up a sequel. There is more new to this game than there is old. Whether it is how they do with the item system, where you can now sort of mix and merge and create stuff with your abilities, the inclusion of both the Sky Islands, but also the Depths, where the Depths is an entirely all new area that's as large. All black, all spooky, all creepy, scary. Like, I would also argue, you know what? I know that Alan Wake 2 exists. I know that Resident Evil 4 Remake exists. I'm going to tell you that Zelda Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the best horror game this last year. It was, the Depths were as creepy and spooky as hell, and normally I'm not into horror games or anything remotely approaching it, but I was hella into the Depths. It was super cool. I think this is still the best Zelda overall storyline I've ever had in a Zelda game. This game rocked. Was it too big for its britches that, oh my god, there was just so much of this to play? Yes. I'm glad that you can sort of end the game on your own terms whenever you want to, but goddamn, is it a video game? And it would have been my number one, except for another Nintendo game, Super Mario Wonder. I was not expecting a brand new 2D Mario game to come out this year, but I got it. And god damn, is it a very good-ass 2D Mario game, full of wonder and whimsy and singing piranha plants and weird-ass tonal shifts in the middle of the game because of the Wonder Seeds. And Mario turns to an elephant, and oh my god, I was grinning from ear to ear the entire way through. I literally dropped essentially my entire life, everything I was doing, just so I could finish that game because I wanted to see what's next. And if y'all have not played Mario Wonder, y'all should play Mario Wonder. It's like that. It's a really good Mario game, y'all. It's a really good Mario game. There has always been a lifelong like battle within myself, whether as a Nintendo fan, if I like Mario more and Zelda more, and this year really ran me through the ringer because Tears of the Kingdom has been modern Zelda, like just at its very best. And Mario Wonder is modern 2D Mario at its very best. Like, this might be the best Mario game since the first Yoshi's Island or Mario World, depending on which one you can, if you consider Yoshi's Island a Mario game or not. So, it is very good. Those are my top 5 games of the year.
And it's purely because of how much you gush over this game that I really wish I had played this game. There's just been so many other games and so many things I've been trying to get to first that I haven't been able to, that I haven't had time to get around to playing this game, but I do want to.
I will also say that if anyone plays Mario Wonder, do not play with the sound off. This is a game that you will need to play with the sound on, because multiple times throughout this game, it will turn into a musical. And if you ain't hearing it, it works. That's all I'll say, is that it works. And it did it before Alan Wake did. Suck it, Remedy.
Huh.
Actually saying that it's turned into a musical has done the most to make me want to actually play it.
Yeah, I did not know that, and now I want to play it even more. In fact, next time you come over, just bring your Switch, and why don't we play it? Why don't we give it a shot?
All right. Okay, Kevin, it is time for your game of the games of the year for 2023.
Okay. Well, starting from the bottom, once again, number 5, Final Fantasy 16. I feel like we talked a good bit about Final Fantasy 16 already, but, you know, it was fun. It was pretty. I sort of forgot it existed for several months. That's probably why it's at the bottom of my list. But it was a good time. It was a good time. I highly recommend it. Very, very solid action gameplay. Some of the best acting I've seen in a Final Fantasy game. Is very memorable, both main characters and side characters. But
In fact, I would say it's some of the best acting in a video game, period. Like, they really, is this one of those, I would normally, for a Japanese game, I would throw the Japanese track on as soon as I could.
Yeah.
This is a game I did not.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I would almost always go Japanese language, but, I liked the the vernacular of the English version. I liked the actors in that. They were, everyone had a distinct way of speaking. They felt, I don't know if it's the best acting in a video game ever, but it's probably in the list you're going to have to sort out to pick the best video game acting ever.
I'm going to give you guys both a pass on that because I don't think you intended those to be grenades. But I'm still giving you a pass on throwing those unsuspecting grenades because the voice acting is in fact very good, and I do think that they paved the way, that the cast of Final Fantasy 16 really paved the way for me to enjoy the cast of a video game as a unit for other games that happened later.
Yeah, so I guess moving past that, my number 4 is a little game I expect almost no one played called Thirsty Suitors. That is
no idea.
Yeah, it's man, I wanted to actually say who made it, and then I realized I'd closed that Windows. It's Outer Loop Games, published by Annapurna Interactive. It's a RPG / skating game / dating sim / cooking game. Where with a lot of Southeast Asian inspiration to its setting. But it's like you play a girl who's coming home to her small town because she basically made a complete mess of her life and left. And unfortunately, she now also has to deal with her family and several of her exes of different genders and nationalities and backgrounds. And so, you fight RPG battles, you ride around on a skateboard, you make food to try to impress your mom, and, you maybe even make up with one of your exes. It's not a very long game. It's also not a very hard game, but it was charming as hell. With things like chapter titles like Her Thighs Are Just Too Powerful. It's... all adults are basically cops, things like. But it was a very fun game. I'd say look for it on a sale at some point. Part of the reason it's on this list because I just thought it'd be a weird choice. It's a game that I think just flew past a lot of people, and it's like in the pile of cute-looking little indie games. I thought that one was worth mentioning. But it was a good time. That's still only my number 4. Now, getting into the real nitty-gritty. My number 3, Armored Core 6. The game that made hardcore Dark Souls players flee in terror. If you're not familiar with the Armored Core franchise, which you might not be because there hasn't been one for a while. It's an action mecha game with customizable builds for your robots, and that really comes down to it. It's from FromSoft, like it is your Dark Souls people, except the Dark Souls element is that you will play the mission and then realize you have completely the wrong setup for it, and just have to try again with a completely different loadout.
Which Armored Core was it that had the entire? Because I remember it was one of the Armored Core games, but which one was it that came with the entire cockpit setup?
Oh, you're thinking of
Steel Battalion. That
yeah,
was-
Steel
Yeah.
Battalion,
Oh, okay.
which
Yeah.
is an equally neat game, and I honestly wish I could get a chance to try that with its whole ridiculous rig. They vary between somewhat reasonable and ridiculously stupid collector's item prices, and you just got to catch it at the right time.
It's
Okay.
unfortunate that they didn't just make that a platform where everybody could make their mech games
Right.
using the Steel Battalion controller, because
Yes, because that would have been
How-
so cool. It
Yeah.
was so cool.
Now, I do have to say about Armored Core 6 is I need to play it more because you apparently need to play through the game 3 times to get the whole story, because on subsequent playthroughs you unlock branching choices that fill in details about the world. It actually does have a kind of an interesting story, even if it's literally just told through radio conversations. It was interesting seeing it when it came out for like fan art of what people thought the characters looked like, because you don't ever see any of the people behind these robots, not even yourself, really.
Very cool.
But it can be I think honestly the very first stage is actually secretly the hardest stage, because you have no options to customize. You just have to beat it, and it will pummel you into your head how you play this game, whether you like it or not, before you get past that first stage. And that there's a lot of road bumps if you're just not a serious mecha fan. But I am. I do like the Armored Core franchise, and I know I highly recommend Armored Core 6 if you for the rare action title from my recommendations, because everything else is an RPG. If you want something a little more actiony, Armored Core 6. And technically, I've got these out of order on my list, but number 2 would be Baldur's Gate 3, because Baldur's Gate 3. I
Yeah.
feel like most of what needs to be said may have already been said. For a brief overview, I feel like there'll be a real episode for this one day. But also, honestly, also a top contender for best video game voice cast ever.
Yeah.
Like they're really good. I cannot emphasize how much it helps you keep going in the game, just if you like to hear the characters talk. That's
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that there is a reason that Baldur's Gate 3 won the Best Voice Actor of the Year award for video games, and like the performances were all really, really good. And I think that part of the reason, you kind of got to hang out with the cast afterwards, and that the cast has been having such fun, like making little TikToks little TikToks and Twitch streams and everything, is because the 16 crowd did that first, and they were so good at it that it has made room for the Baldur's Gate 3 group to do it. But that's just kind of a side thing adjacent to the video game itself.
And Baldur's Gate 3 is a game where you can make a murderous serial killer named Bochi the Rock Gnome.
Also, Ben Starr's also won some other awards that weren't hosted by Jeff Keighley, where he also got to be best voice actor. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a tale of 2 very good casts.
We got some
they're-
good voice acting in games this year.
They were very good.
Yeah. But, my number 1 game of 2023, and I'm not sure if it's just because it was the most recent game I played, is Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, which would benefit from having the full-out voice acting of Baldur's Gate 3, because what you get is pretty good, but you don't get quite as much. But it is, of course, based on the tabletop RPG spin-off of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, where you somewhat reluctantly end up taking the role as a titular rogue trader, expanding the borders of the Imperium and trading and finding lost colonies and maybe making friends with aliens or shooting them in the face, depending on how you roll, or just, going a full mustache-twirling evil run and embrace chaos. I do notice that there had been some discourse around the game about the good mode. Like, playing good doesn't seem to reward you. And it doesn't at first. It does pay off big in the end if you want to, But the game actually has 3 morality systems that I would like kind of break down as mustache twirling evil, good by the definition of Imperium of Man, which is a different kind of evil, and then actually good. The actually good route will pay off. You just will struggle a little while because the universe is set up to punish anyone who tries to be nice or make friends or build inroads. Although I do have to say, I am, after having beat the game, I'm legitimately torn about my decision to let the token evil party member live. But that might be something to think about on subsequent playthroughs. But he's fun. Like, he's almost Astarion level fun, but he only comes in like halfway through the game. But he's like token evil party member.
It makes sense that this is the Warhammer game, because I was looking at your list going, man, Kevin only has like Kevin has the most unusual list that I've seen out of anybody this year, because it seems like a lot of the big name games are pretty well like everybody kind of seems to have the same list as far as I have observed. But
I will throw out the caveat, because it'll probably be true still when this episode comes out, is Rogue Trader is a little glitchy, especially in the back half. And they've put out a lot of patches. But, also, honestly, Baldur's Gate 3 still has some glitches, too.
Don't I know it.
Basil's laugh crying.
Basil is hitting all the branches on the glitch tree all the way down. He would be done with the game by now, probably, otherwise. But I really enjoy Rogue Trader. You have an interesting selection of weirdos, as well as the opportunity to do more meaningful good in the universe than most any other installment of Warhammer anything. Which is, I played it good to, I played things good to own the Imperials. And that's just, it's fun when you get the actual members of the Inquisition threatening you because you're too nice. It's worth it, guys. But that's about it, honestly.
That was Kevin's top games of 2023. Now it's Dylan's.
I played all of 2 video games. I smoked the entire pack with both of them, so until I hated them. But they are both great, and you should play them. And also, I'm going to throw in a tabletop game. Baldur's Gate 3, like I said, real good implementation of 5e rules. The quest system, despite being buggy, is pretty amazing. Like, everything folds into a single mono quest at the end of every act. So if you get stuck, you just explore somewhere else. It's almost too perfect. You couldn't hope to replicate it in a tabletop game. In-game combat was frustrating, typically a little darker than I like my D&D with dark gods and mind flayers. But
oh god, it was so gory.
Yes, it was.
I forgot how gory it was. Like, somebody made casually mentioned, "Oh god, it's just so gory," and they had only gotten to the goblins, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
it gets so much worse."
Oh yeah,
it is super bloody, isn't it?
Every so often, this is reminding me every so often when the cameras will zoom in on you in conversation, I'll be like, oh my god, I'm covered in blood. What happened? Oh yeah, I murdered a lot of people.
And when I say got to the goblins, I don't mean got to the goblin camp. I mean got to the goblins outside of the Emerald Grove, and just commented I had to stop playing. It was just so bloody, and I was like, oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, but go on, Dylan.
All right. Like I said, waiting. I hope we get DLC. They kind of feel like they've teased it, so that was great.
Yeah.
Larian's been good about adding extra content to the game later. Often they don't even charge you for it, but we'll see how that plays out.
They've already added a bunch of extra content to the game.
So my second game is Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty much echo everything Basil said. It was the perfect exploration game to the point that I didn't even touch Hyrule Castle until I'd found most of the shrines and realized I did some things out of order. The build system starts out kind of non-intuitive, but like once you get the hang of it and like once you get like steering sticks, it's amazing. Yeah, there's just so much to this if that's your thing. I like I said, I played so much of it that I blazed through the end game content because I had every item. Not every item.
Tears of the Kingdom was also a technical achievement. The fact that everything worked, like it's not adding that many new mechanics onto what was already in Breath of the Wild, but the mechanics that they add on are so, like they're so revolutionary that they function. That everything consistently functions across the board is just phenomenal. It's just amazing that it all continues to work, and so like you can build just absolutely insane things. Like there's people who build mechs, there's people who build like pickup trucks, and it's crazy.
It's easily the most impressive Wii U game that Nintendo has made.
Yeah.
Many Koroks were crucified in the course of
there's Korok space exploration. I would make the argument that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is basically the perfect it is the perfect version of this game. I don't think it could be improved anymore. Like there are some like little
you
foibles.
Sweet summer child.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Okay, if this is what your grenades are about, then I am all for it. Like you said, you have grenades to throw, and I'm like, oh god, am I going to have to like log off of this?
You might.
Don't. That's going to freaking ruin like the episode, not because of drama, but because it'll ruin the recording. So no one gets to leave. We're now locked into this together forever until the recording ends.
Yeah, suicide pact.
Right.
Also, props to Monolith Soft, as you know, they're sort of the backing team. Not only are they like making amazing games with all the various Xenoblade Chronicles, but they also are they help with the development of Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm pretty positive they're the reason why this game runs so well. Just
very likely.
So well. It's because of Monolith Soft's magic. And that is why this is such a well-running Switch game. Because I don't think by the time that Tears of the Kingdom exists, it could run on a Wii U. I'm pretty sure this is, in fact, a Switch game.
And
it's just a matter of how much data you put on a Blu-ray.
Yeah. Well, even, I don't know, like, even with some of the physics, I remember seeing game developers at the time going, like, I don't know how they did this on a Switch.
Yeah, the physics is also amazing because Basil talked about the depths, and the depths is super cool for exploration. If you are sitting there feeling like, oh, I want a game where I can just go and explore and I don't have to worry about plot or story.
I cannot see jack shit for anything for miles and miles. This is your game.
Well, the depths and the overworld are tied, so like there's ways that kind of gives you a guide.
Like if you want to go underground and find all the shrines, yes, you can definitely do that. If you want to do the one story quest down there, yes, please go down there and do that.
But there's also the Sky Islands,
which are somehow even less meaningful because there's not any major things going on there.
But they're so cool to just jump around.
They're harder to get to. So
we're gonna get into this, but this is a me thing. It's not you, it's me. And I hate just walking around doing shit. This is why
we'll circle around.
My first act of playing Minecraft, and I'm always going to tell the story, was I just dug straight down until I died because I hated playing that game that much. I hated the idea of playing that game.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is definitely, if you like that style of game, it is perfect. In the same way that Baldur's Gate is like, if you like that sort of exploration mechanic, like you'll get some of it, and then you'll get some pieces that aren't.
Yep.
And that doesn't make it bad, just
Okay,
different.
finish your list so I can get to my list.
Okay, so since I only had 2, I was going to add a tabletop game. I played Old Gods of Appalachia. I ran a game of that. It was my first game that used Monty Cook's Cipher system. I don't know if I would use it for other genres, but it works really well for story and setting forward games like this. Stats and...
Is this the game where I whispered into Kevin's ear the whole time?
No, that was Be Prepared.
Oh,
like
okay.
This is actually much heavier than that.
Oh, all right.
Like, because they just shipped this year. The Kickstarter was from last year. Like, stats and health are pools of like expendable resources for applying effort. So, like you can back yourself into a corner. It's got a very loose like asset hindrance system for rolls. So you don't it's not a lot of technicalities. And everything, including monsters, can be reduced down to a single difficulty number if you want. So it's real easy to like put the mechanics behind the story. There's some stylistic choices that take some effort to incorporate. Like it's driven by a bunch of one-time magic items. The sample adventure I ran, they kind of fit in naturally. There's some neat things you can do. Like there's a What Wakes mode where the critical failure range gradually increases. And for the podcast, which is kind of this fictionalized South, which is both more idealized and like more cosmic horror, like it worked great.
There's a lot of actual cosmic horror down here in the South.
There can be.
Just kind of hanging out. We don't really talk about it too much. If you talk about it, it pays attention to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing that people who don't live in the South don't understand.
But now I understand that it's time for Umi's list.
Okay. It's time for my list. All right. So I have 2 categories of games on my top 6 of the year. Games that I actually played and games that I just watched Barry play. And I'll be very forthcoming about which ones I actually played and which ones Barry played. But we've got one nice big TV, and we both have severe ADHD. So one of us playing a game while the other one plays a game is a very good way for us to play games. Anyway, so my number 6, I only recently started playing it back in December. Don't Starve Together. It's kind of a group game, hence the together in the title. It's like if Tim Burton made Minecraft.
That's a description.
So it'd still be garbage.
Yeah, John, you would hate it. There's nothing about this game that you would like. Meanwhile, it's cute. At the start of the game, you pick a different character, and each character has different little skills. And your basic 2D survival horror. You've got a sanity meter and a hunger meter, and like the more insane you go, the more like crazy monsters you summon around you. If you get to the point where you want to start farming monsters, that means you have to start intentionally making yourself go insane. But you grow food, you manage your resources in your inventory, and you try to put like a good party composition so that you don't all starve and die and have to completely reset the world and lose all your progress. And it's very fun. I enjoy it. Let's see. Next on my list is Final Fantasy 16, which I feel like I've already talked about sufficiently. we've already talked about it. I did watch that game rather than play that game. So I would really like to come back to Final Fantasy 16. Like, if we ever do a Final Fantasy 16 podcast, I want to try to have at least played it by then, because I get the feeling that a lot of my complaints about it might not apply once I have actually played it myself. But my major complaint about it is that it felt very much like it felt like a movie that had mandatory participation. And so in order to watch the movie, I had to do all this stuff. And I had a lot of complaints about how it felt like a lot of the areas were really just kind of open to the point of being tedious. Like, it was still a tube. It was a very well covered, disguised tube that they were having me walk down. But they were still basically making me walk down a tube from one end to the other before I could activate the next section of the movie. And I did get to sit back and just watch it. But I watched how kind of irritated it made Barry to that he would have to pick the controller up to suddenly start interacting with it again. And so I feel like if we're talking games, that is a problem with a game. If somebody is irritated that they have to play it and they can't just keep watching it. But otherwise, the plot was good. The characters were good. I highly recommend people watching that game. The next one on my list is Lies of P, which I also watched instead of played, because I don't like playing Dark Souls games, but I love hearing about the lore. Like, I've started going to sleep at night listening to the lore of various Dark Souls-like games. And since Lies of P, won so many awards, Barry and I downloaded it, and he actually played it while I sat there and looked up all the YouTube stuff. And it was very good. If you like Dark Souls games, it's a good one. I feel it's a little bit easier to get into if you're not super into it, so it may be a little bit more accessible. I feel like my own like the racism that Japan has instilled in me showed through when somebody said, "Oh yeah, it was made by a Korean developer," and I just went, "That figures." Like, I'm not even sure what I meant by that, because like I'm rating it as like one of my top games of the year. So
That's just how racist Japan is against Korea. It's just
like, just it wasn't a Japanese game. Oh, that makes sense. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know, but I can't listen to Korean pop bands, so yeah.
But it's very good. I really liked the music in it. Let's see. Next up on my list is Alan Wake 2. I'm hitting all the main titles, as you can see. Alan Wake 2, when the Game Awards were playing, I thought we had already played Alan Wake 2. I was wrong. We had played Alan Wake 1, but then, like, Control is one of Barry's all-time favorite games. So it shouldn't be a surprise that we also really, really loved this game too. The controls were a lot better than Alan Wake 1 and Control, but they were still, that kind of controls, which is my major complaint about that game and why I let somebody else play it instead of playing it myself. But in this game, so that spectrum comes up again whenever I want to talk about this game. Legend of the Zelda is all the way on, this is a game. Whereas, Final Fantasy 16 is on the opposite spectrum of, okay, so this is basically a movie. I feel like Alan Wake 2 sits at the same place on that spectrum as Final Fantasy 16. It just goes in a different direction from it. Like, the entirety of Alan Wake 2 is like a movie that is happening all around you while you are pushing the main character through the set. as opposed to 16, where it's a movie that happens and then you have to move from one place to the other. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, having played just a
it
little bit of
does.
Alan Wake 2, like I basically got to the first boss and decided that this is really hard, and then got distracted by something else. I really want
And
to
then also,
play the whole game, but I'm going back in easy mode next time.
Well,
it really reminds me of Control. Control is very similar in that it feels like you are playing through like a narrative experience. It sort of sits in between like the walking simulator and a game. And it's more on the game side, but it still has all the trappings, all the narrative trappings that you sort of just exist in. So that makes sense that Alan Wake 2 would be a similar way.
yeah. I also now understand why people really wanted Alan Wake 2 to win the Game Awards. And let me tell you, it's not actually because Alan Wake 2 deserves it. Like, there were several other games that came out that were better, but the way Alan Wake breaks the fourth wall and the way that it has a story within a story, it just would have been super meta humor for them to win. It would have been
for a lot of folks,
hilarious.
And for a lot of folks, Alan Wake 2 was their favorite game of the year.
Yeah,
like there are
I
a
can
lot
see
of
it.
folks that really, really like this game. It's also one of the ones that I really want to play, but I want to play when it's really, really cheap because I'm not a big horror fan.
Well, I really am a big horror fan. As I believe I said one time, and it disturbed John greatly. Watching horror movies just really comforts me.
That says so many things, and it's just okay, cool. Well, you know what? You do you.
So Alan Wake 2 has this one section in the game, and it's so brilliant. Oh my gosh! Like, they put, like, you have to go through this underground like nursing home / psych hospital area, and they've got all this stuff, and it's just like you've only got like your little flashlight ahead of you, and it's just perfectly set up for like all the Silent Hill jump scares, like for all the like enemies to come out. Like, you're just like, okay, something's gonna come up out of this water and attack me just any minute, and it never does. You walk through the whole thing and nothing happens. It's amazing. Like, that a game can make me that terrified of absolutely nothing is fantastic. So, my number 2 on the list is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I feel like we've covered everything that I wanted to say about it. And then my number 1 game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, I know I said in several of your sections that I was going to just wait to have all my fan gushing about it until I got to my section, but so the reason why the only 2 games I really played this year were Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3 is because I played those games a lot. I stopped playing Final Fantasy 14 so I could play Tears of the Kingdom more. And then I have now completed Baldur's Gate 3 3 times, and I can't even tell you how many times I've started campaigns and just not finished them because I got another idea in my head and wanted to go back, or they put out a new patch that I knew released new content that I wanted to see that was in earlier stages, so I started over and replayed that instead. Yeah, the main reason I didn't play Alan Wake 2 myself was because I was actively playing Baldur's Gate 3 at the same time. I was so insistent that people need to play Baldur's Gate 3 that I bought Basil Baldur's Gate 3. Let's see. What I really, 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 really love about it is the Divergent storyline. I really like how, like, I don't want to say it's like a choose your own adventure because it's more intense than a choose your own adventure. And I had no idea how to play this kind of game at the beginning of it. Like, I was so bad about it, and my build for my initial playthrough was just so awful. I played I played a cleric multi-class with bard, and I kept the bard and cleric even, and that is like the worst class that you can play. Like, that is like so poorly optimized. I can't even articulate it, and yet I keep going back to it because it has all the skills. Like, all the skills. I don't know how people play this game without having every skill.
You save scum. You just
but like, I think it was around in Act 2, like, I finally started figuring out how to play this game. Like, oh, I have to use all these spells that all these like spell scrolls and special arrows that I've been collecting, and I have to actually put together strategies for how to deal with encounters. And once I started doing that, I felt like such a genius, and I had so much fun. That now that's part of the joy, is going through and going, how badly can I just how badly can I cheese through this fight that originally took me, like, I just kept dying at over and over and over again. Because there's so much to explore, so much going on. And the main thing is the characters. The characters are all so incredibly dynamic. What you do really has a long-term effect. Like, this game, like, takes, like, the concepts that the people who make games that are like, your choices matter, like, no one has actually made a game like that until Baldur's Gate 3. Mass Effect wanted to be Baldur's Gate 3. And they failed miserably. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the actual realization of that entire style of gameplay. And it's so good, and I love all the characters, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the grenades that John wants to throw are about the characters of Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm going to let him throw those grenades before I start, like, defending anybody in particular.
I mean, Astarion's the worst. He's the worst. Just the absolute worst. Like, I've never felt more disconnected from society than seeing everybody talking about how much they fucking love Astarion.
Do you know why? Do you know why you're reacting that way? Like, do you know why, John, you specifically are reacting that way? Like, going, why the fuck do you like this piece of shit?
Yeah, probably because he, like, tries to kill you, tries to bite you in his sleep. He's sniveling and cowardice. I'm a vampire, and how dare you make the choice to not give me ultimate power at the end of the game? I'm running away from you. We're not talking anymore. And I'm like, fuck you, of course, because like. Three sentences later, you tell me that you're gonna do the fucking thing that said, no, this is why I'm not giving you the choice. And it's like, yeah, of course I'm gonna take infinite power and do what the fuck I want with it. I'm like,
I think you're underselling how terrible all the other characters are, except Karlach.
Here's the thing. Didn't have fucking what's his face, the mage. Never found him. Never found the fuck. Why is my brain just on meltdown? I think it's because it's all the shit talking of Tears of the Kingdom I want to do. But the Githyanki character, I never found her.
What?
Like after I got off the Nautilus, I never found her.
How are you not?
Never found her.
Did not find Gale.
Never found Gale.
Lae'zel joins you on the Nautilus if you respond the right way.
I did not
You don't
respond
even
the
have
right
to
way to her.
respond the right way. She just joins you. It's the tutorial
Yeah.
area.
I
mean, Nothing
didn't.
is technically making you get her back in your party once
Yeah,
the
I
prologue is
never got her in my party. Never did it. I got Shadowheart. Never got Lae'zel. Just didn't do it. Didn't care. I was like, whatever.
So you were stuck with Astarion. You didn't have the other two terrible people to compare
Astarion's
to.
in the fucking camp. Will's corny ass got to hang out with the cool kids ahead of fucking Astarion. Will's a fucking corny motherfucker, and I couldn't stand him.
He is.
But being a warlock was so cool. Was like so useful. Having like pushback Eldritch Blast was such a fucking useful thing that I put up with his corny fucking ass.
He's the only other one who may not be entirely terrible, though.
He's so corny.
He pretends to be better than he is.
Yeah,
is his
he's
issue.
so fucking corny. He's all fucking talk too.
Well, you didn't even get Gale, so you don't have Gale to compare both Will and Astarion to, because Gale also does the thing of like, yes, I'm a prodigy wizard, I'm super cool, and
fucked the goddess of magic, and I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
like, come back to me when you fucked Illustrate, okay? That's the goddess I want to fuck. Everybody dances naked in the moonlight. Come on, let's fucking go.
Then you get to know him, and he's soft inside, and you realize it was all just a projection for his insecurities, and you try to make him better.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I got my issues too. I went to therapy, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's the thing, John, is that these characters don't have therapy. You are their therapy, and I imagine as somebody who has been through shit, you have very little patience for other people who have been through shit and haven't gotten their shit together, because you got your shit together.
It depends on how obstinate they're being about not getting their shit together. If you want to get your shit together and for whatever reason don't have the resources, I totally sympathize with that. If you're just like, nah, I'm good, I'm like, I don't really have the fucking patience for that.
I'll just let Tab deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Anyway.
here's the thing about Astarion's character, is that Astarion's character, he literally just got away from his abuser. And so it's not really that you're like, I get so angry, and the reason I thought that I was like, oh no, am I going to have to leave this chat when somebody like equated him like, yeah, he was just made for Twilight chicks. Like no, like he's specifically the story of somebody who was physically abused by a father figure.
Yeah, me too. I did not turn out like Astarion, let me tell you that.
You say that, John.
By the way, we've got 12 minutes. I'm gonna have to really book it through my.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I love Astarion. You hate Astarion. Move on.
Yeah.
What other games do you want to throw some bombs about?
Well, are we to me now? Are we doing this?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
We're
That was my
to you.
number one game. It is your turn.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so number 5 is Tears of the Kingdom. I thought about not having it on the list.
Well, it wasn't on my list, so.
A couple of things I want to talk about here. Number 1, it's not like I hate this game. But it's definite. If this is the Zelda game that the masses want, and I'm pretty sure it is not the game that I wanted. I played Breath of the Wild. I loved Breath of the Wild. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good change of pace from the other 3D Zeldas, which I have kind of a half-hearted relationship with. Like, my heart really belongs to, like, original Zelda, Link to the Past, that shit.
Zelda 2.
Yeah. But we always make the joke that your favorite Zelda is the one that you played when you were a kid or when you were a teenager or something. But anyway. Number 1, there are too many fucking currencies in this game. Too many currencies and not enough rupees to go around. Do you know how expensive shit is in Tears of the Kingdom?
It's real expensive.
I wanted to go to one of the areas straight away, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to buy, like, the heat armor, because I'm going to, like, the Goron village, right? It was, like, 2,000 fucking rupees or more. I don't even remember. if it weren't for the item duplications in the early versions of the game, I probably wouldn't have finished this game. Because
all those items you can find in caves, like you don't have to buy a lot of the resistance gear.
Yeah, like I don't have the patience for that. I played at least, to my count, 9 games this year, not counting the time I spent playing like competitive games. This is also like the non-competitive game list, because otherwise Street Fighter 6 would have been on here, and I might have kicked another game off of here and left Zelda at 5. I don't know. It just seemed like kicking Zelda off was like maybe a step too far, but I really did think about it. And I made jabs about this earlier, but like the upper and lower areas just didn't do it for me. There was like one story quest down in the depths, and I don't think there was anything once you got out of the tutorial that like brought you back to the Sky Islands for anything other than sightseeing. And I know that most people, especially a lot of people that I know that love Zelda, like they want to spend all their time in this game. And this game is great if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I am not that person. Like my ideal non-linear Zelda game is like, okay, I know there are like 8 dungeons I gotta go to. I gotta find them. I gotta clear them out. Each one's gonna be a little different. And we're gonna go fucking find Ganon and kick his ass at the end. This was not that. This was like, okay, there's a billion things to do. There are 4 main dungeons, and they're all kind of samey because they all have the same, like, okay, you gotta, hit 4 locks or 5 locks or however many it fucking was, and then you can go fight the boss. I'm like, man, this is the fucking same shit every time with like, Here, do it in the sky. Here, do it in magma. Here, do it in the cold. And I was just like, I'm not really fucking feeling it. I did really enjoy, though, when you had to, like, build the fucking glider to get into the dungeon in, like, the Goron thing. I wish the game had lots more of that. Where, like, you're fighting something on something that you built. I wish there was more of that.
There is more of that.
Well, okay, yes. If you're willing to spend 200 hours finding fucking batteries, which I am not. Like, all the cool stuff that you see people do online, like building fucking Metal Gears and shit, that takes at least 300 hours just to get the fucking resources, let alone actually sit down, plan it out, make sure you put everything as, oops, I stuck 2 things together wrong, wiggle the analog stick real quick, get them taken together, oops, didn't get it right that time either, oh fuck, I'm gonna be here for the next 2 weeks just trying to get this base done. Like, I don't have the patience for it. I don't. Like, I just don't. All of the game's story is behind the tiers of the kingdom. And by that, I mean, like, they're physical, literal tiers that you have to go find. It's a little less cumbersome than I have to triangulate which area on the map this is to get the story from Breath of the Wild, which I thought was total bullshit. This is a slightly less dog shit way of finding it, because at least there's like these big glyphs in the land that tell you, oh, you should go looking here. I'm like, okay, cool. But I also just like pulled up a guide and speed run that shit because I like. Listen, the original Legend of Zelda was not that huge. If you just wandered around all day, you're just gonna die, and then you have to fucking figure out where you were again. This game is made to be wandered around in aimlessly forever, and I just can't do it. Like, I can't do it. The shrines didn't feel as fun this time. Maybe it's just. Of course, this list is like highly subjective. This is just me, and we've got like 6 minutes left. So. Like, it's not you, it's me, okay? That's the number one thing.
Well,
here.
we've already established that our preferred styles of gameplay are just radically different.
Yeah, just vastly different. And I just
okay.
I thought this was a good game. I enjoyed what I played of it, but like I said, if it hadn't been for the duplication bugs, I probably wouldn't have gotten through this game. I would have just been like, I don't have the time for this shit.
All right. Next.
Number 4, fortunately, I don't have to say hardly anything about. It was a good game in 2006. It was a good game in 2023. Resident Evil 4. The remake was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the second time. It was still good. Cool. Moving on.
Yay.
A game that, according to Nintendo, I actually spent more time on than Tears of the Kingdom, which I found dubious, but apparently it really happened, was Fire Emblem Engage.
Hated Fire Emblem Engage.
I love all things Fire Emblem. Okay, I'm here for Fire Emblem as a like when Fire Emblem Heroes made $500 million for Nintendo. I'm like, yes, let us enter the age of Fire Emblem. Push everything else aside. Have the Smash games be all Fire Emblem characters, so I can piss off that fan base even more. Just please, yes, all Fire Emblem all the time. I loved the having like the classic characters interact with a new group of characters. It's Fire Emblem. You either love Fire Emblem or you don't. It is what it is at this point. They found the secret sauce. They realized what they needed to add this entire time was fucking. That was what saved Fire Emblem. When Awakening came in, and
the fucking.
Well, no, you still fuck at the end.
Oh,
you fuck at the end. You have to get to the end of the game to get the fucking.
Oh,
but you
that's
still fuck.
That's okay. Like you see, my problem with it is my favorite goddamn part of Fire Emblem. Like, I liked Fire Emblem beforehand. I liked Fire Emblem on like the Game Boy and on the GameCube. I think it started before that era, but
that was when we got it here in the West. Was like Game Boy and GameCube.
That's when I got into it, and I really liked it. I really liked playing Final Fantasy Chess, is what I think I called it for a long time. I loved Fire Emblem, but then they introduced the people breeding, and the whole idea that I can now breed my perfect little units by like pairing up my different companions together. Like, oh my god, that was just like crack for me. That was absolute cocaine.
It was never as in depth in the following games as it was in Awakening. Like, but you could still have kids in Fates, and then you didn't have kids in Three Houses, but you still had the fucking. This game is not Three Houses, okay, but it was still a fun game for me. It was like a quarter of Three Houses in terms of like the amount of depth, because Three Houses had 4 entirely unique routes. Well, one of the routes is like half the same, but still like they go in way different directions.
Three Houses was so good. Awakenings, I think, was my favorite, but this one just. Engage, I did not like Engage. I got tired of it. I got tired and frustrated with it.
I played it more than I played Tears of the Kingdom, apparently. So like,
that's so weird.
Yeah,
I kind of legitimately liked Fates, but I had a weird fixation on breeding my 2 separate sets of non-related siblings with each other.
Well, number one, you missed the entire point of that game. That game was to fuck your relatives / not relatives. That game was peak Japan being into incest.
No, see, that was me getting with my actual biological cousin. That you can miss the information that she is in fact your cousin.
Yeah,
and then breeding my 2 fake sets of siblings with each other.
Listen, it's all Camilla all the time, and anybody who says anything is a fucking liar. Anyway, Engage. I liked it. But again, I was gonna like that game regardless, because it's Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem, period. Number 2, Final Fantasy 16. All gas, no brakes, just like this segment for me. Okay? All gas, no brakes. And they did something that I wish Monster Hunter would do, because they could do it in-house, which was they brought in the fucking Devil May Cry guys to make this a fucking game, okay?
Yeah.
That made this game so much more fun, so much more interesting. And the side quests they did something really excellent with side quests. They either gave you something cool, told you something interesting, or about like one of the existing characters, or introduced you to an interesting story. Like one of the storylines, spoiler alert, you fucking indirectly kill a child. Because there's a fucking wolf that this kid adopts, and you bring their lost pet back, and it fucking kills the kid because it's a fucking wolf. And it's like, okay, deserved it. Yeah, the kid fucking deserved it. He had it coming.
Final Fantasy 16 was the game where, as Barry was playing it, he said, "Oh my god, is this going is this game going to pull the hat trick? Is it going to convince me that child murder is the correct moral choice? And it fell just shy of doing that. But then Baldur's Gate 3 came out and did do that.
Okay. And then Baldur's Gate 3, number one, not really close for me. An incredible experience that was unique to me. I played it on PS5, so number one, I had a lot fewer crashes, glitches. Like, there were things that happened, but, like, it was an overall pretty stable experience for me, even going into Act 3.
Yeah, that was funny, because I literally played it on my PC, on my Steam Deck, and then finally on PS5 as I reached increasing levels of both completeness of the game and as it taxed the system more and more, and I found, like, oh, my PC's not running this anymore. What about my Steam Deck? And then I eventually even hitting Act 3, and it's like, yeah, no, this is just not working. I hear it runs smoother now, but I've not gone back and double-checked that.
Yeah.
It has always played fine on my laptop.
I just don't know how you play that on controller.
It's a little different, but I got used to it.
Yeah, it was easy.
It basically just autofills all your commands in a little window you can pull up.
I did not have the difficulty problems that you guys did, but I think that this is due to me being a former competitive D&D miniature skirmish game player.
Quite possibly.
I had some fucking devious setups in these fights. Like, I just pulled my squad back, let the enemy rush me, and put, like, a wall of fire and blades in the main pathway, and just watch everyone die. Like, I had to build for my main character, who couldn't be hit at the end of the game, because she had, like, an armor class of 22 and blur, so you had to, like, hit armor class 22 twice. Good luck with that. So it was... I breezed through the game, but the big thing for me was that it really allowed me to role play through a game and get a story that felt unique to me. Even though we all played the same game.
Yeah. We all played the same game, but we had very different...
Yeah, very different experiences. Mine was very personal. It felt personal. And it had all these fun little moments for me, either when it was rolling a natural 20 to... on a DC 30 to get Shadowheart to convert, which I know is like a preordained thing when you're rolling that. But it was such a cool moment. You saw like the DC of 30, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to save scum this, aren't I? And it was like natural 20. I'm like, hell yeah! Fucking nailed it on the first try. And it felt so good. It felt so good. The game felt so good. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's not for everybody, but it's such an incredible individual experience.
Yeah. So
that's it. That's my top 5. Dylan, you can go. You can go. Basil, you can go. Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay.
So this has been a production of the OSMcast, because what y'all are hearing, folks, by and large, is what we did. This is not that barely edited. And if it was done by me at the very beginning. But you can find our stuff at OSMcast.com, where you can find all our other previous episodes and all our future episodes. Something tells me that some of these video games are going to get their own episodes. I don't know. Just something. I don't know what to tell you. Just something, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, Resident Evil 4 might get its own episode. Clearly, that was the game that we all talked about.
I could go play it real quick, probably, but...
I mean, probably could, but no, I mean, real talk, I think the 3 games out of this that will eventually get their own episodes is Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Anyways, find our stuff at OSMcast.com. You can also join our Discord. We got a Patreon. You can give us reviews and all the podcatchers of your choice. 5 stars, please, and thank you. Our theme song was done by DJ Edipyon. You can find his stuff at djmedia.com. And we also got our YouTube pages for both the OSMcast and the Cardboard Chronicle, our 14 podcast. Please go check, like, subscribe, ring bells, do all the YouTube things for those. And bonus props, as always, to our usual editor, Anna. But she's not feeling very well now. She is not feeling very well right now. So please send all the good wishes. Hopefully she's feeling better now by the time this episode eventually does come out.
Love you,
Anyways,
Anna.
there might be other things. But with that, I'm glad to give the award for the official OSMcast Best Video Game 2023 to Spider-Man 2. Thank you. Good night.
Funny
When's
guy.
Gwen? When's Spider-Gwen? When's that happening?
That's extra funny because none of us had it on our list.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone has actually played it.
I played about
we're
half of
downloading
it.
it right now. We're downloading it right now. We're gonna play it.
Yeah, I feel like I played about half of it, but I'm not sure about that actual percentage.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yuri Lowenthal is easily my favorite Spider-Man.
it's
But
it's solid. Like if you like the other Spider-Man games, it is more of that, and it is solid.
Yeah.
Like it's lost a little bit of the dramatic impact since they've done this before twice already.
Yeah.
It lost a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm now hitting the stop button. Now.